Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. I think this may be an uncomfortable opinion for some. If you don't read the whole thing, don't comment. So, I believe a lot of men and women have a hard time empathizing with one another because somewhere in the back of our minds we're envious of the supposed inherent quality of the other's life. The truth is, women don't appreciate the struggle of men and men don't appreciate the struggle of women. This is because human nature focuses on what you don't have, versus what you do have. Men want and desire things that come easier as women. Sex, companionship, comfort, encouragement, trust and affability. Men desire these things. Men want these things, but they are easier attained as a woman. Men, for the most part, have to work for sex. I know plenty of guys who don't, even dudes who are butt ugly, but their confidence is on point. The thing I'm saying is, these aspects of life are usually something men strive for and desire, and aren't as easily attained on average. A woman doesn't understand the odd look she gets from a man about money and jobs, because of the difference in value such things are placed on by the different gender. A man typically isn't seen as having intrinsic value like a woman. He typically needs his job, his money, his outward signs of material wealth and ability to be stable to be given value by the opposite sex. Sure, looks account for a lot. But women don't value looks quite the same as we do, and that's given that I think women are more shallow than men. On account that a woman will date a man that beats her ass, touches her kids indecently, eats up her food and drains her of happiness, resources, and good health, but scoffs at dating someone she doesn't find attractive. That tells me our priorities are different. So my own personal opinion that women are more shallow comes from that, among other things. But that doesn't mean men don't have our own equally valid failings that leave women scratching their heads wondering what the hell is wrong with us. Remember, we may not be the same. But that doesn't mean one's value should be diminished. But understand, for men, if a man had the intrinsic value, or at the very least felt he did, he would not stress as much over the things he does. As of now, most men deal with their worth being measured on what they earn, have accomplished, or can provide. Our worth tends to be tied strongly to material. Good looks and a great stroke will get you in the door. Women duck all kinds of broke dudes out there, but those men you will find all manage to project something that the woman found to be of worth. And sometimes women will assign worth to qualities of men that aren't actually there to justify why they deal with some of our bullshit. But that doesn't mean their bullshit is any less potent. Men look at women and what they deal with and falsely believe they got it good. And believe that because people don't covet men, pursue men, slave away for them as men do to impress and gain the adoration of women, generally, that the women have it better. Of course, this is because of where we place higher value, not any real measure of better. Women do not have it better overall than men. They have it different. This is what we're talking about. It's just different. Men have it worse than women in many venues of life, no doubt. But news flash, women have it worse than men in many venues of life. Example. Even walking through a gay club, I have never known the fear that somebody is watching me, assessing me for weakness. Wondering whether or not when I'm alone if they could force themselves on me. That my attacker could leave a piece of himself inside of me that would grow and be a constant reminder of the moment I was made into an object. Used and helpless against their depravity. That is a constant living fear that I do not know and would never want to know. A lot of women live with that and they function quite well sometimes despite it. Which is amazingly admirable. If the opposite sex wanted me that bad, I might feel flattered. Women, not so much. Men should not envy that. They should empathize and realize though we might want that kind of attention, maybe not to the point of being raped, no one wants their agency taken away, most women do not. Not in that way. Likewise, some men have to live with several fears of inadequacy. Fears of vilification. Men live with the responsibility of being men and all the expectations that go along with that. For every dude out there being an ain't shit nigger, there is a hard work dude, doing everything right, who gets no notice, and all the shit falls on his head. We don't notice or give a shit about him because of every duckhead we've had to deal with. Some men live with the fear that any act they do will be misconstrued. One careless statement, seemingly innocent observation, a poke on the shoulder to ask a coworker to turn down their headphones that are blaring too loud will get them fired, labeled as a sexual predator. Your life is over. No matter if you're proven to be true, you've never looked at the same. Plus, it ruins how you treat women. How are you willing to treat women? Hell no, I'm not going to give one of the girls that work with me one-on-one time. I'm close to all those girls and I will never be caught one-on-one with them. No matter what. I invited some of the girls to work with me at my home. Those meetings are recorded. When people start leaving they all gotta go. And a woman will not be the last person in that house with me. I stood with my arms folded, because a man with his hands in his pockets got fired because it made a woman working there uncomfortable. Never mind the guy was super gay. No one will believe a man didn't have bad intentions, because men are just vile creatures who only want sex, and nothing they do is innocent. In fact, it gets so bad that some of us believe it about each other. We just don't want to admit that because it would make us look bad. We go to the, well, I'm not like that. But with cousins, daughters, and sisters, we look at other men like that same threat. Someone thuggish said all women want sex. All women want the D. This is more or less a true statement for most sexually active females. With one special caveat, most reasonable women care very much who they ducking. Every straight woman who has a sex drive wants to be ducked well by a man, their man. They want to be desired by their chosen dude. Sidebar, I know for a fact, personally, some women want to be desired by strangers on the internet. This is a low blow that I wouldn't make in real life. Just know that I know not all women have the same sensibilities or desires. Whether we understand them or not. Anyway, understand that most women are very particular about who, what, and when. Their inner desires do not dwarf their need for agency, security, and control over their sexual autonomy. Imagine having to spend your life pretending you don't like sex, don't want to have sex, don't tell sexual joke, and all the glorious freedom we have with our sexuality as men, because you don't want someone to misconstrue that and treat you like less of person. Or treat you like they can just take your physical agency and impose their own upon you. I don't think we men truly understand the mind duck we put women through as a society. Not just men. Society. You gonna want a woman to duck and be available sexually, then you wanna judge her for it. Then you wanna belittle her for enjoying it just as much as you. Come on, get the duck out of here. Men understand this, I know we do. But sometimes they don't empathize because they wish they had the problem women have. Even if unattractive women were throwing themselves at most men, they would decline, but still get an amazing ego boost from it. It would make their damn day and reinforce that they had value outside of what they can achieve at the job. Not everyone is handsome or fit, or any of that shit. And even when they are, material and wealth is the grand standard for men. Some dudes who are dead ducking sexy, do not have women approaching them like that just because of the way we set up this whole song and dance. Because of their own desires, a lot of men covet the kind of attention and adoration women get in this way. Not understanding that women aren't particularly happy about it unless they control how they receive it. Even women who want to be disrespected and dominated on some kink shit want to choose their master, not have some rando coming onto them. Men typically would invite that sort of attention. A lot, not all. We're not the same. So because our outlook and desires are different, we value things differently. Because things have different value to men and women, we tend to minimize the stress and strain things we value less put on the other gender. Women are on and on about the way men are treated in the workplace. How much easier it is to get ahead. And I'm going to be honest, it can be. It certainly can be. Not for everyone, but I will admit there is an assumption I can do the job better if I am a man in particular fields. So, yeah, There is a bit of an axe to grind there in a lot of cases. But make no mistake, if certain men didn't need to have a certain status and the wealth or value to back it up to get a certain caliber of women, we would not care. Yeah, we like our toys and our things. We like money and all that, but that's largely because it is a physical, verifiable, representation of our worth. Positive reinforcement that cannot be refuted. We accomplished this. We earned this. We did this when others could not. This is the value we bring that others cannot. I don't think women understand that most of the time our values are under attack. Our friends are not telling us we are handsome, that we're oh so smart, that any woman would be lucky to have us. We say that kind of shit to each other maybe once in a while. But the climate of masculinity in this country at least, is that men ain't too supportive of each other in that way, cause it either comes off as weak or gay. And if you think gay men are exempt, you are wrong. Men spend more time tearing each other down in jest than building each other up. And we all pretend like it's all in fun and games, but we're very petrified for any of it to be true. And the first to stand up and admit his pains or fears is a pussy, or a whiner, or not a man. It's actually exhausting to bottle up emotions and pretend like I don't feel it. It's exhausting to be vigilant tough all the time, not knowing who to let your guard down around. Hell, I remember getting slammed in the head with a shoe by a girl in class, because I called her a stupid bitch, because she took my Walkman and threw it across the room because I wouldn't let her use it. This was middle school. You think anyone congratulated me for not getting up and punching this dumb bitch her eye? You think any girl thought better of me for it? Nope. Fast forward to high school, to college, to the workplace. We all know how we want that man to act. But we certainly treat him like a little bitch if he acts that way. I've seen it more times than I can count. I've experienced it more than once. I've had a worker who I had to critique, slap me across my face because I dared tell her that her work was not up to standard. Dealt with jokes and jests, and a lot of snickers by women behind my back about how I let her punk me, cause I didn't haul off and rage. I just fired her ass. Understand, most times, being a man directly correlates to the amount of stress, strife, and tribulations you can deal with and overcome. There are many things men deal with exclusively that women can't handle or even fathom. Things that keep us up at night. Things that cause us to be some of the most tightly wound and stressed individuals on the planet. And women do not empathize because it's not their experience and they do not understand it. They are focused on what we do have and they do not, and thus minimize our struggle as we minimize theirs. It's a rough little trade-off. And not everyone's the same. Not everyone's experiences are the same. This is many of us, but this certainly ain't all of us. Everyone's always quick to jump on that's not me, that's not my experience, so I'm gonna argue. Kind of proving the point that because it ain't what you personally experienced, your ass is unwilling to empathize with those who do, even refusing to believe they ducking exist. You kind of represent the entire conversation in a backwards way. Listen, we ain't the same. Our goals, needs, and desires are similar, but we assign different value to different things. I am well aware that women desire a lot of things that are so far easier attained as a man. And vice versa. I repeat it because it bears repeating. I am well aware that women have fears, struggles, and trials a man will never and can hardly ever comprehend. Dangers that are both frightening and real in their frequency and depravity. But men have some of their own. We need to stop acting like the other person's experience is less valid because it's not the same. Or because we put different value on certain experiences, trials, and accomplishments. Stop devaluing each other's perspective. Even I am guilty of devaluing the trials of a woman when my trials are belittled and attacked, even if most of what I say is the truth. I probably should always say, that doesn't change men's guilt or function in all this. Or that even if I choose to focus on women's failings, that doesn't mean men don't have similar or equally detrimental failings in our peer bonding experiences. The fact that in order to tell a woman what women get wrong, I have to chase it with what men do wrong so they don't feel attacked, tells me our empathy for one another is low. The fact that I have to say, the same is true for men, or many will not think that I know that, is a damn ducking shame. Of course I know it holds true for both sexes. Are you ducking stupid or just argumentative? First step. Stop being selfish. Stop blame shifting. Stop with the whataboutism. Take the criticisms we have for each other with a grain of salt and stop feeling personally attacked. Take the truth you can and do away with the rest. The next thing is to stop devaluing the struggle of the opposite gender. It's no less real, and no less terrible to go through than your own shit, just different. You may have some worst shit going on in certain ways. But even judging comparisons in an effort to win the pity party shows a mental deficiency we need to get over. Bitch, are you proud you're more miserable? And it's not the same. It's not equal in all areas. That's not how life works. But we can empathize with one another and work for betterment. But only as long as that is the goal. We need to be working toward mutual betterment, instead of trying to win the alleged game. Which is most of our focus and the reason why most people keep finding themselves in shitty situations. Or maybe I don't know what the duck I'm talking about. That's a strong possibility. Either way, it's what's on my mind. Hey, man. Just one comment. Sidebar, I know for a fact, personally, some women want to be desired by strangers on the internet. This is a low blow that I wouldn't make in real life. Just know that I know not all women have the same sensibilities or desires. Whether we understand them or not. It is important here that you know that this desire from strangers on the internet usually comes from a lack of acceptance, love and/or desire from known persons earlier in life, be that a parent, friends or even a crush. And of course, proving your point above, the same is true of men. Delete everything but that last paragraph. No. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night. Wherever you are.